What's up, guys? Got a brand new fender. I'm painting on this white truck. Also blending the white door on it, and I also have I think it's gray rocker for a Mustang that I'm doing as well. Kind of a couple of mundane jobs, but that's all we got. We're gonna start our first DRP here, hopefully close to the end of the month, which is progressive, and hopefully things will pick up, and hopefully we'll have a few more colors to spray and a couple more different items and to show and tell. But for now, like I said, all we got is this white fender, white door, and a gray rocker. So I got the brand new fender all prepped up with 500, sanded out all the rub marks and made sure it looked really, really smooth and there's no texture to it. I sanded the blend door with 800 grit, and then I sanded the plastic rocker with red Scotch-Brite. I just scuffed it up with it. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get to it. Let's paint her up. Again, like I said, so I prepped the new fender with 500 grit, making sure it feels smooth and looks smooth. I scuffed up the rocker with a red Scotch-Brite, and then I prepped the door with a red Scotch-Brite and 800 grit. If you ever need any videos showing how to prep, I made plenty of those, so make sure you check those out as well. This one would just be kind of a blending video. How do you guys feel about blending white? Me, I don't complain about money, so I'll knock it out. Sometimes the white matches, sometimes it doesn't, so I prefer to blend, but how do you guys feel about it? Would you blend white? So like I said, I got everything all prepped up. So I like to start with some waterborne cleaner. I like to use microfiber rags because they actually leave no lint in comparison to the rags that claim to be virtually lint-free. I like to soak one rag down with waterborne cleaner, get it really, really wet. I leave the other one dry. I like to do a wipe on and wipe off process, and if I don't wipe it off, sometimes I can see where the water evaporates. So I'm gonna make sure you get all the extra product off of the panel. It tends to only happen when it's really humid, but you can never really gauge when it's gonna happen, so it's better just to wipe it clean. This is the gray Mustang rocker that I'm doing as well with the white parts. We'll have to do this first so that the gray does not overspray onto our white and make it look dirty. So we'll have to just do this first. And hopefully it'll be dried up by the time we get done mixing up our white, and we can throw a piece of paper on it. Or it might just be far away enough that overspray might not get on it. But again, we're just gonna wipe it on. We're gonna wipe it off. Now when it comes to white blend panels, you have to make sure they're extra, extra clean, because let's say I'm wiping the panel and let's say there's a black smudge or a brown smudge that I don't really see. When you go paint this and then you clear coat it and you take it outside, when the sun hits it, you're definitely gonna see like the black smudge that you left. So trust me, I've done it, so you don't have to. So when you do these panels, I have a friend named PD Customs. He uses a Santara anti-static wipe, and those clean panels really, really well. Like I said, I just like to scrub it really, really well with this waterborne, and really you gotta kind of eye fuck it to make sure it's, you know what I mean? Make sure it's not dirty or anything like that, because, bro, that's the worst thing in the world, to have a really, really nice paint job and then to have a smudge underneath the clear coat that you can't do nothing with. So again, we got that soaked rag. We're just gonna scrub it really, 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 really well. Just gotta make sure all our tape is out of the way. And then we're gonna do this like section by section. We'll start with this top part. Like I said, you kind of want to scrub this. You want to make sure it's nice and squeaky clean. This is really, really important, especially with whites. Whites are kind of the worst, bro. You can't see your clear coat. You can't see your blending base. You can't see, dirt into the last minute. It's kind of awful. After we wiped everything down, we're gonna grab our tack rack and we're gonna go ahead and tack off any extra dust particles. The name brand of these tack rags that I use are called Crystal tack rags, and this is the beige one, obviously. Well, it was beige. Now it's dark brown. Grabbing our anti-stag gun. Give this a quick blow. Remember to always blow off the backside of your panels too. So we got everything pretty much prepped up and ready for paint. We need to go ahead and cover up these bare metal spots with some etch primer. 1K etch is more than enough for these bare metal spots. If you have a bigger area, you probably should use 2K etch or epoxy, depending on, you know, if it's a restoration or a collision. Etch is a little bit more preferred for collision, but it's all up to you. It all does the same. So we're gonna throw some etch to help the paint bite and for a little bit of corrosion protection. Give it a quick shake. Like giving it like 2 coats maybe. Just, you want it on there pretty well, but you don't have to like fully cover the bare spot. So for sealer, I'm using Spies Hecker 5650 waterborne sealer. This is the light gray, obviously for the white. Sodajet 5500 1.3 O-tip, Lumaiii 3 Sunpro light. You see everything as Lumaiii 3. Gotta check them out if you haven't. Really, really good company. So we'll go ahead and throw on the sealer first, and then once that's dry, we can be able to throw on the base and then the clear coat. So let's do it. Alrighty, when the joker's all dehydrated, I like using these green Centauri Tech rags just to wipe it over, make sure there's no dirt or debris in it or anything like that. And sometimes that 5650 can be a little bit seedy, and if that happens, you can add a little bit of the 6000 water to it, and if it's still a seedy on you, sometimes tacking it off will help knock some of them little seeds off, helping your base and clear come out that much smoother. So I like doing my blend panels first. We have some wet bed, which is clear base coat. So I'll go ahead and wet this up, leaving a uniform and even texture. And a wet bed just helps any overspray that's falling in the air that lands on the panel. It helps it lay completely smooth instead of sticking up. If something lands like sticking up on the panel that you're painting, it'll look like dirt later on. So you always want everything to lay really, really smooth. So like I said, we'll wet this down. You can use pretty much any gun you want. You just want to keep the texture smooth. You want to make sure it's really, really nice and uniform. I shoot it the same way I shoot base, which is at 26 PSI, fan fully open, trigger fully open, you know what I mean? Like everything's open. So let's do it. Base coat Lumaiii 3 Exodus 1.3 Sunpro light. This is Spies Hecker again, and we're going to shoot this at 26 psi. We're going to do, I always do like a reverse blend, which starts with an orientation coat, getting closer and closer until I get to my blend area, and then I'm spraying like normal. I'll show you a different one today, and this one is called the lawnmower, and it's basically you just pull your arm back as you're going down the panel. And it's a lot more simpler blend it can be than like the 3-step reverse blend. So let's try it out and see how it comes out. All right, that's pretty much it. I had a small rock chip that I filled in with some UV combi spot putty that I had to put that covered in this area. But that's pretty much it. You just want to put it on there, and you can go slow. You just want to make sure the whole job is wet, especially with waterborne. It might be different with solvents. I'm not really that great with solvents. I haven't sprayed that too much, so I wouldn't know. But like I said, with waterborne, you just want to keep that panel wet. I mean, like I said, you would want to put it on there like normal, and you want to pull back as you get closer to our blend, which is kind of like right here. If you're ever lost and confused, you just want to look at your tape As long as you have a good blend on your tape, you know you got a good blend in your door. So Speed's Hecker is wet on wet, so I went ahead and I threw on a second coat of that blend, and then so I'll do one full wet coat of this. I'll give it probably like a 30-second flash, and then I'll do a second wet coat, and then that'll be completely done. And then we can jump to the gray bumper, or gray, I keep saying bumper, but the gray rocker, and then we can jump to clear coat. So let's do it. And as you can see, everything is pretty much dry. You want to give it a good gander, make sure you didn't miss any spots, make sure there's no dirt, make sure there's no modeling, make sure there's no brown streaks, and then also to make sure your blend looks okay. And I think I am good, so I'm gonna get ready for clear coat. I also got to mention this is a Lumaiii Exodus 1.5, and this is Speed's Hecker 8600 high solid, so we'll do one coat fully wet, then a half coat back to back, no flash, and we'll be done. So let's knock it out. Now we're gonna follow that up by an immediate half coat.